Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout New Vegas. So in the last episode we went to Vault 3, which I looked it up and apparently Vault 3 was supposed to be a control vault, so there was no supposedly experiment or twist going on in Vault 3, which really just makes it boring. It does kind of make sense though that the lower numbers might be control groups. However, the Vault 3 was overrun by fiends. Apparently, if I had been wearing the Great Khan suit of armor, they would have probably treated me fine. Apparently, the Great Khans and the fiends are within the same faction. And apparently, that's the way you're supposed to be playing this game, is that perhaps you're not actually siding mentally with each of these characters, but you are pretending to be with each of these factions, despite the fact that a lot of these factions sound awful. And in Vault 3 we killed Motorhead, which finished a side quest, which doesn't seem, after looking it up, like that big of a deal. So now I am in this situation where let's see what Eddie has in his inventory first of all. We're going to probably get over encumbered just talking to Eddie, and then we're definitely going to get over encumbered talking to Veronica, is that her name? What this really boils down to, let's see, let's actually give her
got something good for me?
an outfit.
Is it a dress?
That is a dress, and see how that works. Like, the first thing we would do is probably go a sexy sleepwear just to see if that works. No.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
We'll take that. Let's then give her, see, and I imagine like pre-war casual wear is something that either gender can wear. Let's go with pre-war relax wear.
A dress. Thank you. I am totally trying this on later.
So even then she doesn't wear it. So yeah, it feels like the whole system is kind of pointless, and it only becomes more pointless when you start to realize that there is a real situation here where even upgrading your rifle or your weapons or the casual clothes is not going to increase your value on a lot of things to more than just a couple of it's time to also equip this gun because this machine I don't have bullets for. I do want to keep that, so I would like to probably flag it somehow, although I don't know if there is a way to flag things. So pre-war, dirty pre-war business wear. Anything dirty, let's skip first, because I assume that is less valuable. So naughty nightwear to the max. Pre-war casual wear to the max. But yeah, this is a value of 3, so collecting any of this is really pointless. And you're not getting experience for repairing these items either, so it does certainly bring about a real weird question there as far as just why have so many different outfits that are not compatible in any way with other items. Jumpsuit, 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 jumpsuit. Utility jumpsuit. Yeah. And this is all just from Vault 3. You really just don't need that many items. You're increasing the value extremely minimally. And it's not even like you have a location where you could store all of this, or a shopkeeper who would give you more value. Now I could be wrong and making a mistake here, and I could find out that some of the dirty items or grimy items probably should upgrade. Grimy here, pre-war business war is valued 6. This is valued 3. Repair almost feels like it would help you with your inventory, but it actually doesn't either, because you still just have too much too much stuff. Way too much stuff.
You're back. Do you need medical attention?
Yep.
Because you're a friend of the followers, I can give you a bit of a discount.
Friend of the followers, I have no idea who that is. So, first of all, we should buy things that might have value or that are weightless. Probably should not buy things that don't have value until we can find out. And it looks to me like there might be a decent amount of stuff in our inventory that I've already sold to her. So, if I was to say, let's not even start with weapons, let's start to sell things of the level here as far as outfits. Naughty nice wear with speech plus 10, luck plus 1. Looks like it's valuable. Casual wear. Not really valuable. Park stroller. Radiation suit we still would need to keep an eye on. Raider Blade Master armor. I think we probably could get rid of that. And then sexy sleepwear versus naughty nice nightwear. And then if we start to compare, speech plus 10 plus 1 luck totally beats any jumpsuits. Lockpick 5 repair, maybe we'll hold on to that, but honestly probably don't need that either. We haven't run into a lot of radiation suits. It's too easy in this menu to go back and forth. I suppose you'd probably be using the D-pad Centurion helmet, and this we'll give back to Veronica. And yeah, this is a rad resistance of 25, so at a certain level, if I just got a power suit myself, I would not need to hold on to items. Okay, so now let's start selling weapons. Well, first of all, no, let's not sell weapons. Let's see if we've got any garbage items we can sell that are taking up weight. Doesn't seem like it. Then let's see if we've got any aid items that are taking up weight. Ant nectar. Cazador egg. Dirty waters. Dog meats. Gecko steaks. Clearly the magazines should be in their own setup, and there is an argument to just selling the Nuka-Colas. I don't know if Nuka-Colas themselves are as heavy as guns are, though. Okay, so that should have cleared out a decent amount of our stuff too. And I'd love to be able to just sell the most expensive gun, but I probably should be selling the least expensive gun and keeping the most expensive guns for my own use. We have this chainsaw, this cowboy repeater. Some of these guns in particular, I know I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna definitely have to start to focus more on upgrading them, or just handing them over to Eddie. Okay. So we will take back the frag grenades, or take back some of them, and we'll give just half. Then we'll take back one. Okay, so one would be 150, which is, I think, just slightly below.
It'll be easy enough. All right.
We'll pay some caps. There's 100 bottle caps, and you can see she didn't get more of those bottle caps in her inventory. So I still am
Ooh, got something good for me?
in
Is it a dress?
pretty bad position. Let's see. This companion, let's just give her the chainsaw, flamer. Don't give her frag grenades, but maybe even incinerator is a bad move. I want to kind of hold on to this one, but because I want to focus on seeing if I can learn how to craft bullets for that one. Meanwhile, we'll do that and that And I'm still, at this point, fairly overwhelmed. Yep. Still not sure what is holding me down by such a high amount. Ammo should have no weight. So it should either be a weapon or an outfit. And you would think that these items should be special items, that there would be less weight. So she is just straight up gone with the golf club. Alright, so I said at the end of the last episode, probably I'm going to end up playing Menu Hero at the beginning of this episode, and that's exactly what happened. See if this cowboy repeater will work for us at all. See, the only other thing I could have really done is just tried to finish maybe some quests and do some more trading. But even if I was to try to trade things, I think I would struggle to even get to 4,000 caps, which is my goal. And then we are just in this weird position where this is really the main story. Like, I want to do this and this. I don't know how to move this forward. And then the rest of this is DLC stuff. And so until we finish this and this, we can't really get forward towards moving the main story forward. And yeah, we need to move the main story forward. So my hope is that I'm facing in the right direction. Yep, and we're gonna just wander this way. We probably are gonna have to wander down here and here at some point, and probably here. And there's Vault 34 if we want to get distracted. And of course it's a Fallout game, so at any point we could get distracted. Sounds like my guys found something to shoot at. Although I'm not really sure what they're shooting at. Mole Rat Ranch, I guess. So I don't know if Eddie just shot all of these guys or if somebody else shot all of these. I don't think Eddie would have shot a Brahmin. And this is not a door. That would be a door. It is just really, really ridiculous to wander onto these areas without having any clue as to what the story is. Another thing, apparently there was a book and that I did not pick up in Vault 3 that would have increased my stats, and I don't know if it is a case that these books are simply not showing up, or I'm just doing somehow a pretty terrible job of finding the books. Yeah. Because to me it looks like all I have is a bunch of magazines, no books. And it certainly does feel like I should have been finding more books to increase my stats, but it might also just be a case of maybe the books aren't spawning because my stats are already too high. I definitely feel like I'm probably entering some areas that I shouldn't be entering. The game is somewhat well balanced in that aspect, where you can enter a lot of locations. Looks to me like there's something up there. You see a fire.
The Kaisar has marked you for death, and the Legion obeys. Ready yourself for battle.
Uh-oh.
So I wonder, at this point, if, well, first of all, I know my gun's not very useful. If I was wearing Legion armor, whether that would help in any way. Inevitably, I've failed to play this game the way I think you were supposed to play it, and I just feel like the way they're having you play this game is very different from the way they would have had you play Fallout 3, where it feels like in Fallout 3 you really did pick a side and stick with that side and just make those role-playing moral decisions. Here it seems like the idea is to just lie more. Let's see. Go ahead and... Man, those super sledges are really valuable, but they are super heavy. I'll try this trail carbine. Don't think I can do much else. Legion veteran armor.
Ooh, got something good for me?
Let's see
Is it a
how
dress?
many things we can hand over to her without having her waste it. Yeah. Now noticeably, I don't think I'm getting Legion ears from these random encounters. I think I've just become hated by the Legion very prematurely. I don't even know why I'm bothering to pick up herbs. The Witcher 3 style, the way it was updated, where you just kind of automatically pick up herbs, sounds way more appealing. That you would just walk by a tree like this, it would pick it up and then put it in a separate inventory that doesn't count to your total weight would be how I'd prefer things to go. If I just constantly was encouraged to walk to a place and walk next to a plant, that'd be great. But I'm not being encouraged to walk to new places and investigate new things because every single thing I pick up just leads to being overburdened. And that's just not fun. Right, so it's a bunch of food. It's kind of pointless to take any of his food. There's a workbench. Yeah. There's a bed. As far as we know, Raoul is dead. How am I becoming over encumbered by picking up bullets, though? Explain that one to me. Alright. This stuff still just seems like it is pointless. You would think what you're doing here is breaking down items which would clean up your inventory, but sometimes it seems like you're increasing what you're holding by crafting things, which that doesn't really make a lot of sense, because you would think no matter what you would do, it would be a negative ratio in which things are being lost, not gained. One of the things that might be the case here, these poison glands, that's taking up 23. Wait, let's get rid of that.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
Yep. One of the things that might be going on here is some items are highlighting themselves as not having any weight, but they do actually have some weight. Might also be the case that I'm looking in the wrong group.
Hey, I can't really move now, but I'll follow you in spirit. Hey, I can't really move now, but I'll follow you in spirit.
Okay. Well, that cleans up that. I guess the question to ask here is let's wait 3 hours. That'd be 6:30 in the morning. And let's just see if we find Raoul. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Well, another pointless location that probably does have some kind of side quest to it, where we'll maybe get to that side quest and have a reason to run back to Raoul's shack, or we may never find that side quest, or may never be able to actually do that side quest. It is very annoying, I will say though, that I failed that one side quest. Also, apparently there's like 3 or 4 other side quests we haven't even started around Vault 3. So, it does seem like there's a decent argument that we may go back to Vault 3. So here we have a train tunnel, very hard lock. Definitely are in this section. More than likely, we should probably be somewhere around here, and we probably missed a chunk of encounters here. And so walking just from like here to here probably would be a good move. We are really, really far still. At any point here we could run into death claws, although they seem like they're basically a myth at this point. Or we could just run into walls that we can't climb. Might just be on the wrong side of a mountain. You can see visual glitches happening all over the place. Now the problem with any old game that's visually glitchy is you could always explain that away as the player character is inside of a simulation, and then that certainly opens up that possibility, and that's not a possibility you really want to open up. Okay, so Brotherhood of Steel safe house. Good to know. Wanna talk to her about this since she's in the Brotherhood of Steel?
I've been thinking. The real problem with the Brotherhood is that we isolate ourselves. Our training is top-notch, our technology gives us an advantage, but when it all comes down to it, we're losing because we shun the outside world. We always make enemies, never allies. We refuse to recruit outsiders or see the value in their simpler technologies.
It seems like every time I talk to her, we're encouraging her to change things.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about what kind of role we could take on that would give us the best chance of survival. But I think things are starting to come together. I know the odds aren't good, but I gotta try. I can't lose them. This better not be about the meaning of life.
So we could ask about Mr. House. Benny, know anything about... Yeah, I guess we can just ask all these questions and exhaust us. It would be an interesting game, certainly, if a big part of this was to get companions, and then through your experiences and actions, they would grow on to change the outcome, the ending of the game. But I imagine it's not really the case, or very little will change.
Yeah, they say he built the strip. Of course, they say a lot of things. No one's actually met him. Me? I think it's a hoax. Probably a group of people who want to avoid attention, or some made-up persona of a self-aware computer. Why else would he shut himself in like that? Well, when two people really love each other, you really don't know this stuff yet? Sure, he's one of the hotel managers on the strip. He comes up in the news now and then. Him and the other chairman run the Tops. It's one of the nicer hotels. Or so I hear. Elder McNamara wouldn't shell out for a passport for me, so I've actually never been to the strip. Why do people get so cheap when they get old? Ooh, do I get a prize if I answer right? Yep, it's your typical city layout. Rich people in a gated community surrounded by extreme poverty. House gave the area around the strip to the locals, but he has no interest in it, so he ignores it entirely. It just needs new management. I'd love to see the Brotherhood do it, but since the Codex doesn't say clean up Freeside, no one listens to me. Bunch of sticklers. I was told we wouldn't be tested on this.
Every response here is very sarcastic, and when you play them in a row, it really just shows off some very poor writing. Which I wouldn't blame Felicia Day on, but I'm sure her style of acting probably helped motivate the writer to write in such a sardonic, sarcastic way.
I'm worried they'll be the death of the Brotherhood. They take what they want. We defend our interests to the death. But there's a handful of us and tens or hundreds of thousands of them. So it's not going to end well. Last time we clashed, we lost a lot of people. retreated to our bunker. Now we're afraid to even move around during the day. A lifetime supply of fancy lad snack cakes, revenge against my enemies, and world peace. In that order. Silliest dressed band of raping, slaving marauders you'll see east of California. I'll say that. Where's that touch of old world class? Although, I hear the soldiers mount each other as much as they mount their women, so maybe they did keep a little something from the Empire. No such privilege for the women, though. Figures. So, to answer your question, they're a bunch of hypocritical jerkwads. It's a word. My favorite subject.
And I don't even want to bother.
Nowhere specific. I just know there are a lot of groups who are actually doing well for themselves out here. I want to understand how and why. See them at work. Let's.
Yep, so we exhausted some of the dialogue there, but not all of it. Pretty noticeably, we don't have the key. And it seems like she doesn't have the key, or she's not giving up the key. So it definitely feels to me like there's just a major mountainside here. A wall that's blocking us. I wouldn't be surprised if there is basically a wall from this point down to about this point, and then all the way to this point. And they are really pretending that the map is bigger. Which, in all fairness, what's the point of the map being bigger when there isn't much to do here? Now, this is intriguing. We have a red clay style of... Let's see. What is that? That may be death claws, finally. That looks like death claws. So, yeah, the red clay idea is intriguing, but then why have we only seen it in this one spot so far? Why not have half the desert, or a third of the desert, have spots of red clay? Now, if we are seeing red clay, I guess that also implies that there might be some form of water that was here at one time, if that matters. Nah, it's just a fire gecko.
Hey!
Not sure my shot did anything there.
Trouble.
Nope, that does seem like that's doing damage. Does seem like we are getting experience from that. It does seem like we may be able to follow this path up into the hills. There is, I guess, a good thought here that maybe the red clay could indicate where a certain styles of enemies or stronger enemies would be. Don't really have a lot of bullets for this gun either. Clearly, I want this to be more of an action game, though. Facing the wrong way. All being attacked. How are we going to go about this? Are we going to go up then down, or should we try to maintain the high road? I think we should probably try and maintain the high road. It's just going to come down to, does this curve around? Those are the flying wasp creatures, I think. I think there is a decent danger that you would end up on the wrong side of the mountain. And this definitely feels like there should be something here. But nope, nothing there, as far as I can tell. Hey, we made it. This is a fairly big location. Let's see. We're still on very friendly terms with the NCR, and yet they won't just let me steal things from them. We could see if campfire lets us cook anything. Some gecko steaks. It seems like I can take some ammunition, so I'll do that. Here you have magazine. Can't take. So it's based on probably what's inside the ammunition box as far as just how valuable the items are inside, as far as whether they consider it stealing or not. But the whole game doesn't really explain any of that well. If that was the case, then an empty foot locker should not have red on it at all, because you can't steal from an empty thing. You could snoop from an empty thing. So here we have a doctor.
Wow, hey, it's you! What are you doing in Bitter Springs?
We're in Bitter Springs? Oh. Alright, let's buy some medical
I'd love
supplies.
to help you out, but I'm pretty strapped here as it is. I really don't have anything to sell you. Stay safe out there.
I don't know if we've met this Lieutenant Markland before. And here we have a...
I'm sleepy.
Sorry. So you have a little girl refugee and an adult male refugee. Does seem like we are increasingly willing to see a kid here and there. And I imagine maybe they're just keeping the kids away from early game sections and away from the strip, which would make some sense. Sparingly putting kids in the game. In all fairness, Skyrim had kids wandering around the cities quite a bit, and they did not play a good enough role to really exist, and just were kind of annoying. They added slightly to the lifelikeness of the world, but they didn't really add any value. So remember, Bitter Springs at one time was where the Great Khans were, and the NCR came in here and massacred, I think, the Great Khans and probably some refugees.
Hey.
I don't know why this character is just hobbling around. But
they say the fiends are defeated, but I'm sticking close to the army just in case. You're a model citizen, thank you.
A good ranger is a dead ranger. So there's some graffiti on the wall from the cons still. So it almost seems like there might have been a quest here to bring back the Great Cons and have them take over Bitter Springs or reclaim it. Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm sleepy.
Definitely doesn't seem like there's anything here. And here you have a male child just saying very generic things. I'm sleepy. I'm scared. Not adding anything to the conversation or the game. Which is true for most of the NPCs, is that they're unnecessary fillers. But these buildings and locations do feel fairly empty by 2024 standards. This would be a much more lively place with a lot more people wandering around. And once you have, like, if you saw 7 or 8 people just walking back and forth down this path, you would fairly quickly realize that none of them are important NPCs, and you would just feel as though you can walk past them without paying any attention to them. Definitely am not finding the right bullets still. Nor am I finding the communication shack. So we found the Bitter Springs. Did we not make it to the ranger station? It seems to me like the ranger station is up here. Am I going in the right direction? This would feel like a ranger station, but maybe it's not. Nope, it isn't. We need to go in this direction more. That feels like an invisible wall. So I think we're probably going to have to curve around. Now we can see the ranger station. Let's just be fairly careful. Not to fall. They don't want to fall to our death. We haven't saved in a while. Of course, the weirdness here is we'll get into the ranger station and we'll probably accomplish nothing else or get any other quests. Just hop in, I guess.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
You're here to sell something. We don't want any. No problem. Hey, do me a favor when you get back to Reyes and tell her that we don't need any more damn ammo. Wouldn't mind more water, though.
Let's see, why don't you use your radio, the supply situation.
You think I haven't tried? Every time I do, Camp Golf acknowledges the situation. And soon after that, more ammo.
Interesting. Camp Golf. Something weird going on.
We're not gonna die of thirst anytime soon, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. It's not my call to make. You'd have to clear it with Ranger Erickson. Alright? This is the frontier of NCR territory.
All of
We're
this?
the first line of defense. You won't find much in the way of civilization east of here. South of here is Camp Guardian, but they've been having radio trouble, so they've been silent for a while now. Careful out there.
Alright, so let's find the other guy in charge. Here. And talk to them, and then it's probably worth it to go check out Camp Guardian. I could get some XP picking open these ammunition boxes. But the risk is higher than the reward. I suppose this was probably the door we were supposed to come in on. We have a radio we can't turn on, which is funny because we can turn on like every other radio.
What brings you to Ranger Station Bravo? You're not stationed here, but your rep with the NCR speaks for itself. It's mostly rifle rounds, but I'll throw in a few boxes of pistol ammo. I really shouldn't be doing this for you, but there's no way we're going to use all of this or be able to carry it with us. We're here to make sure the Legion doesn't try to sneak around Lake Mead and come at NCR from another direction. Yep.
It's another character with very bright red hair. Just a lot of redheads. It comes off more like a fetish than realistic. Okay, well. So, on that, let's move our marker here. The last place would be this ranger station to finish that quest, and I would think I would need to fast travel here. So, it is, I think, more logical to just get distracted and go check out this location. Now, should this load? No. It should not. And there really shouldn't be much of anything here other than wildlife. Yeah, it's too much of a desert. What you would like in something like this is, if it is going to be such a big open land, is you would like there to be some fairly fast running enemies that would run towards you, but then you have to balance that out with Pharaoh Ghoul Reaver. You'd like to be able to get a return on your investment for the bullets you spend shooting something. Even me just constantly reloading is probably wasting time. Pretty obviously 5 counts. It's not going to pay for even a single bullet. So I want to follow across this side. I'm not sure I can get up there. So when you jump, you sometimes really don't have any forward momentum when you're jumping. So it is just like straight up. I think this is an invisible wall. which would make me suspect that you need to go back and reach it that way, and that you probably can't reach it this way. It'd be nicer if this map was a little bit better at marking elevation, because clearly there's a lot of indications of things, but no real guarantee that there's actually a thing there. This looks like something of interest. Let's go see what's there. It may be nothing. It may be a big hole in the ground. My perception tells me that there's something down there. Centaurs. This seems to me like this is probably a centaur nest. Giant evolved centaur. They are hostile. You basically are going to have to wait for them to come to you. To hit any of them. And I think this is probably going to highlight kind of a great example of where got the centaurs spit at you. They'll spit at you at radiation. They look like they are half human, half rad roaches. Or multiple humans all merged together. 8 rads a second for having anywhere close. Okay. So let's look and see. Do we have the radiation suit? I think I gave it to her.
You're making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
Put that on. And then we'll do a Rad-X. Not sure 2 Rad-X's even stack. Let's look at our status and see if that works anyways. Radiation resistance 85%. That would be 1 Rad-X, and it will just take another Rad-X and see it's not stacking. I am seeing that there is a challenge for using Rad-X. Let's go ahead and make a safety save too while we're at it. Alright. The Devil's Throat is what this is called. And we're getting +1 radiation a second. I feel like there's probably going to be a quest at some point to get Centaur blood. And it might be some weirdness if we come back here and need to get Centaur blood and we've already killed all the Centaurs. Here we have a super mutant. Let's see. Empty boxes. And we have a prospector. And a custom weapon from the looks of it. No snow globe and no item of real importance. There you go. That's a machine gun for you. Authority glasses. Combat armor. Party hat. Dynamite, frag grenades. Pulse grenades. Then probably have some weighty garbage items. I don't want to spend too much time cleaning up my inventory. I think that's good enough. So let's get out of here. Right. Let's put back on our NCR armor for 10 is probably the better armor to be wearing. Yeah, I think though
You're
I was
making me
wearing
carry the
a
heavy stuff,
different
aren't you?
piece of armor. Specifically, so I wasn't just always going to identify as being with the NCR.
Ooh, got something good for?
I don't know what I was wearing though. Hiding nice wear. Alright, let's run around the desert in the naughty nightwear and see how well that works. So that's the Devil's Throat. We wanted to go to Camp Guardian, and if I was to guess, there's not going to be an easy way to get there. There is a cave here. Guess the question will come down to, is there anything in this cave? I just don't get this game with its caves. It feels like it's unfinished. And that's probably the case. This all feels like a wall, and that we've just hit the northernmost border of actual game content. Yeah, unless something happens where caves all of a sudden open up, or you're given some kind of perk, or some kind of quest, it does seem oddly bizarre that you'd even have cave openings. At the very least, I think what you would do is light all the cave openings well and put a campfire in them and then have cave openings be rest stops where you would find like crafting benches and bullet reloading benches and campfires, and then at least there'd be some kind of reward for finding them instead of just finding nothing. Alright. See how our luck goes. I think it's probably a case that my luck is already pretty high, and so wearing the naughty nightwear probably not going to feed into having higher luck. Yeah, they really are just monster closets. Have some feral ghouls hiding in a cave. Unfortunately, this probably does confirm that we're going to have to walk all the way back. Is there a faster way? It's probably faster, just fast travel to this. Then we can start again. Can we crawl through this? Nope. Can we get up on this rock? Not from that side. Can we get up here at all? Or am I wasting time trying to platform and parkour? So my goal is to go fairly straight until we can get on the road. It is probably time to also try a different weapon. Yeah, we'll try this Magnum revolver. See if it can do anything. What it feels like to me is that it probably should be a case where hitting level 10 would have leveled up your guns in such a way that light guns would have gained an advantage in general, and they would just start doing twice the amount of damage or something along that lines. Maybe just a small percentage, 10-20% extra damage would be alright. Still, I'm getting 50 XP for killing all these things. She shouldn't have been poisoned that quickly. At least we saw it this time. Her health is all the way back up now. A lot of trash. You know what would be nice is if there was a trash pickup perk or challenge. That if you just obsessively picked up a bunch of junk, obvious junk, really obvious junk, you would be rewarded. Okay. So the map is telling me it's probably over here. Looks like there might be some other stuff. This is allowing for more mountainous sections, which that's intriguing. To have more verticality. Camp Guardian radio signal found. Camp Guardian. Seems we found some coyotes. Is that what we're gonna find? Is that the entire camp has been overrun by coyotes? Where is the camp? Well, we've got some green water here that probably would be more bluish. I would think the camp is probably over there, and that we have to wrap around this area. Log page. Guess we'll pretend like we're gonna read that. It's interesting to have a log page in the bushes, because that's not something you typically see in a Fallout game. So we're just going to find these. But notice I can't hold down A and automatically read things, nor can I just pick it up and have a voice acted line of dialogue show up. So I press A here, I have to hit B, then I can go here, then I have to scroll down and pretend like I'm reading what the dialogue is actually saying. It would be more impactful, certainly, if I think you're supposed to target the stingers. Boy, that one got blown away. It definitely would be more impactful if there was just a bunch of dying soldiers. Yep. Along this path, instead of pages. From the looks of it, it looks like this may just be a camp that was overrun by nature. I guess giant rats are things to shoot. Although I'm not sure those are really worth the bullets. I find it irritating that you would have giant rats in the game in the same way that you would have rad roaches in the game, and then I guess that's just a tree. Where's Eddie? He's off shooting coyotes, I think. But yeah, if giant rats existed in the game, then why not use them more like rad roaches? Which is the same thought, certainly. Why are we not shooting rats or walking by rats, which at a point we could shoot? It's also worth certainly questioning, what would you really do if you didn't want to just constantly grind and shoot at characters, creatures? If you were just running past them and trying to speed run this game, how would you get your XP? And I would assume there is just no actual answer to that, and that you have to grind, otherwise you're just not playing the game. at that point. Right, so we found the cave. And you know what? With the cave, I don't want to end the episode because we're doing kind of long episodes. So I will save, autosave, and then I'm gonna pause the recording and take a break. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So it occurs to me that this is really just like a prime example of some of the weirdness around Fallout, in that I was given a quest to tell me to go to Ranger Station Bravo. I talked to somebody and they mentioned that something's going on in Camp Guardian. And so now I'm at Camp Guardian, or in a cave in Camp Guardian. Haven't quite met all of Camp Guardian. And yet, there is no new quest here. You would think that that would be interconnected in some way. And see, I have no idea. Yeah, this is brightening up a little bit. I just have no idea if this cave is going to be much of anything. Apparently I can't actually target the giant rats there. And the giant rats don't have anything on them. So they are wastes of bullets. And I just do not think that there is any way that you would have reached this area early enough for this to make sense. Yeah, to be getting 5 XP per kill, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay. So, what are we going for now? Are we still just trying to balance everything up? Yeah. I think that's what we're doing. We're just going to get everything up to 69. Yeah. Let's not go for a meme, and let's get everything up to 70. And then put 2 in the energy weapons, maybe? You just never know. There might be something that wants your stats up higher. I think the move is still probably to put some into guns. No perk this time. And I don't think these giant rats could hurt me, even if I tried to let them hurt me. We're at level 17, which is at least a couple levels more than I thought I would be at. Animal control perk rank 1 for killing animals. And that might be the only reason, really, that there is a rat cave here. No, I didn't have the cursor anywhere near that rat. I wonder if maybe we'll go through a dungeon like this, and the one thing you could do that would be an interesting twist is that you would get to the end of the map and maybe there would be a there's nothing here on the local map at all. Interesting. Maybe there would just be a large number of rats or one giant rat. Oh, this whole cave seems pointless. My local map is totally missing. In fairness, if this is what they did with half of those cave entrances, though. At least that would be something. I feel like there's gotta be some kind of secret exit to that. In Fallout 3, there definitely were some caves that led to vaults, and exiting the vault would maybe drop you into a cave. It happened at least once. Maybe not twice. So that cave feels like it is not really connected to discovering what happened to the cave, to the camp. And definitely a different experience there. Getting 25 XP for fighting a giant scorpion instead of 5 XP for killing a rat. Let's continue to pretend like we're reading these. I'm really just slightly skimming them. I don't know why I'm picking up things. So there's a whole experience here that's being told verbally in a video game. Which, notably, video games are about video. So, feels like either experiencing the experience instead of being told, being shown, not told, would definitely be the smarter way to do this. Whether it's through, I don't know, holograms, recordings, playbacks, or just it happening at the same time. It might very well be a case where New Vegas just gets back to that thought where perhaps it was rushed out the door, so there wasn't any time to focus on the B tier quality content, and instead they focused all of their attention on polishing the A tier content. And so, in totality, maybe it's easier to remember New Vegas positively because it doesn't have the grindy, uninteresting stuff. I have no idea what they're shooting at. There's like bark scorpions over here. This also is too reminiscent of the Skyrim climb to the top of the mountain. Now I question what we'll find at the top of the mountain. Whether it would be of any value. It's also worth saying you press A to collect items, but then you press X. No, you press A to pick up items from them too. I thought I was pressing X to take everything from them. Maybe that is another prompt. Giant rats do sometimes drop giant rat meat. And we can hear a radio playing. And so I imagine that's supposed to be comedic. it sounds to me like the radio may be messed up and they may be using, somebody may be using the radio as a way of messing with the NCR. I wouldn't be surprised if that's house. You can see the rats are just kind of stuck in one place. Let's do a little experiment here. I'm gonna run around and grab anything that possibly would be used for cooking. So probably not the empty whiskey bottles or and things like that. And the rats. And then I'm gonna go back to the campground and see if I can cook anything. Pork and beans, tin cans. It doesn't help that you have tin cans and pork and beans looking incredibly similar to each other. Just don't see point in doing that at all, potentially confusing your fan base. Okay. I would need a lunchbox and an Instamash. I probably would need my survival skills a lot higher. So now I have to come over here and see if I can reduce my items. Let's go ahead and just drop all the pork and beans. Drink a couple of Nuka-Colas. Just drop everything. Wonder if this emergency radio would help me in any way. Probably not. As far as maybe resettling the base, that'd be a thought. Yeah, that's not doing anything for me. So I wonder if maybe I've always been wearing the NCR bandolier armor. Now I probably was wearing something like lightweight leather armor before and just have worn out its condition. But if I was wearing the NCR bandolier armor, that might explain why I was just by default getting aggressive reactions from the fiends. You can see these rats are not programmed particularly well to be aggressive. So that might be why they don't show up in enough places, is because they would get boring. Might be somebody went crazy. Two. So it still have a lot of value. Sunset sarsaparillas still makes sense. I wish these scenic points looked better, but I imagine for the time these scenic points looked decent enough. But when you see the water like this, when you see the low textures, and in this lighting in particular in the middle of the night, it is not particularly interesting. And I would say probably is a great example of what you shouldn't do in modern games, is don't be overly proud of your visuals and have scenic outlooks unless that is going to actually benefit the gameplay, which it doesn't in this case. Because yeah, it definitely feels like, what in the world caused that? Right, let's not cause the game to crash potentially. Yeah, it definitely feels like you are just asking for trouble and asking for disappointment. Even a year or two later, your game is not going to be that impressive visually. C4 plastic explosives. Now I'm over encumbered because I have a bunch of C4. Something else has got to be weighing me down. Can't just be C4. Let's get rid of the power fist. That's not really worth holding on to. Do we have a local map? Apparently, some sort of local map. Do I have a clue as far as what I'm supposed to be doing? Not really. My companions, I guess, are following behind me. So yeah, I have a real thought here. I'm going to just go down a tunnel and then Lake Lark. Wow, I was not expecting to find anybody alive.
Oh, thank God. I didn't think I'd ever see another human face down here. You must be the backup I've been calling for. Where are the rest of your men? Shit. Do you have any damn idea what lives in these caves? We need to get out of... We need to go now!
Okay, let's see. What killed the other troopers?
I don't know, some kind of man-fish freak like the one I killed over there. I'd heard fishermen spin old tales of lake lurks swimming in the water. I always thought they were just bullshit mermaid stories.
Alright, we have medicine.
Thanks a lot, Doc. I think I should be able to walk out of here now. I don't want to risk running into a pack of those freaks alone, though. Could you escort me out of here?
You're free to leave. The way up is clear.
Great. I'll start heading back to California now. I'm not about to let myself get killed by future NCR incompetence. If you find my friends, please return their dog tags to the NCR. People need to know what happened here. And if they won't listen, do what you can to make them listen. The dead need to be avenged. I know, but now that I can see the way out, I'm not so sure. I'd rather not join my dead buddies anytime soon. I'm gonna start heading back to California now. I'm not about to let myself get killed by...
Same line of dialogue.
If you find my friends, please return their dog. If they won't listen...
Same line of dialogue, phrased a different way. Now, there was a point where they started to introduce attempts at technology to have a voice actor say a line of dialogue once and then change it so it sounds differently. I don't know if they've really made a lot of progress with that. I don't know if he ran the wrong way and got killed. I mean, he should have just gone up here and escaped. So why do we hear gunfire? They were repeating the same gimmick a little too often, where you have an NCR trooper injured and then there is a need to heal them before they can leave. Kill mutated animals. Maybe this was another way out that we were supposed to consider taking. I wonder if I'm supposed to take the C4 and blow something up. Definitely are very distracted at the moment. This is a much more of a cave maze than I was expecting. Okay, I think it does just kind of go in circles though, so should be all right. These lake lurks definitely feel more dangerous than the rats. But I don't think we're gonna run into any booby traps or anything like that. I don't want to jump down in any section I can't walk back to. I do suspect maybe we're supposed to just blow up the cave. But if we were supposed to do that, not really getting any prompts to do that. There's an occasional mission in Fallout 3 that is more having eldritch horror, like Cthulhu, twist on them. This is... yeah. Guess we'll take that. Yeah, there's a No quest here, though. You would think you would have gotten a quest to collect all the dog tags, but no, it's just asking you to do it. And you're just would have to collect them all. Some of these guys are in armor, but visually they're in armor, but in reality you can't collect the armor. Face wrap armor. Nuka-Colas. Trooper fatigues. C4 explosive is super valuable. Where, you know, cowboy repeater seems like something I can't repair. It definitely seems like they were disturbing their egg nests here. Egg clutches. These are called lake larks, and they were called murlarks, I think, in Fallout 3. A different variation on them, I'm sure. Eddie. Hold some stuff, Eddie. Hold all those C4 things. Face wrap armor versus this armor. I don't know how much I really even need armor. And that certainly is something to think about as far as am I even really taking damage here? Wish you could drop some things. We never found anything to do with this, like, journal. That's just crazy. Couldn't carry the NCR stuff. I'm still over encumbered after all that. What is over encumbering me? What can I get rid of? Bandolier armor, face wrap armor. Why are those two even in the same group? Still have like too much stuff. Oh, this is so annoying. Well, even at full heal, it's not much. So let's just do that. Well, lake lurks this way. Private Halford. Is this the guy that... Military police. Yep, I think we straight up got him killed. He ran in the wrong direction. Now, are we supposed to really feel bad? This recipe allows you to make dog tag fist. Interesting. Let's see if we can craft something here. Apparently had some fire gecko stuff we could have dropped. Some dog tag fist would require 20 NCR dog tags. It would be a 3 weight, 24 damage item. I imagine you will get more doing other things with your dog tags, though. In that case, let's see. Guess I should just hand some guns to him that I know I can't really use right now. Yeah. Yeah, if I don't have the bullets, there's kind of no point in holding on to it. There's still got to be some other stuff that I'm missing. Just take all the lead. Take all the leather belts. I mean, you really are just constantly getting disrupted by... Yeah, I'm still not sure how big this whole map is. It looks like a fairly big cave. Yeah, you're just kind of constantly getting disrupted from your main gameplay desires. Instead, being forced to... Is this water radioactive? No, it's clean water even. Interesting.
Trouble.
Can't even get into where I want to be, into the bat system, before Veronica takes him out and Andy takes him out. Okay. Let's make a safety save and see if we can swim through this quickly. That took us straight into the lake. The water looks a lot nicer here. At some level, this feels like this would have been a really cool way to sneak into a camp. The camp. If you, I guess, were playing as the Legion. Which is about the only if it would make sense there, is that if you were playing as the Legion, if this camp hadn't already been overrun by land lurks, maybe then that would make sense. Let's see if we can... Where did I drop that stuff? Take a landlurk egg. Just since we don't probably have another one of those. Yeah, but there's definitely a question here as to what else are we supposed to be doing? Have we seen enough of the map to think we've seen everything? This almost looks like that would be a secret passage. There's just locations and caves on top of caves, and there's no verticality being shown here. Okay. I don't think we're gonna run into rats. I really just want to leave. There might be two ways to leave. One could be falling this way. That's taking me in the wrong direction, I think, but whatever. I think if I just keep going in circles long enough, I'll be back towards an exit. This looks like this might be a way out. Just keep going up north, or upward, not inherently north. There we go. And so this is where we entered. So is there anything else to do? Camp Guardian Cave, Camp Guardian Cave, Camp Guardian Caves. No. So unless I was supposed to be reporting things specifically to ranger stations instead of reporting things to McCarran, seems like the move would be to travel back to McCarran. And I did that before, and then I fast traveled away from it, and that was a mistake on my part. McCarran Field is where we need to go. We need to talk, we need to turn in some information, and we need to sell with any traders we can possibly find, because we've got a ridiculous amount of items on us. And if we can't sell things, then we need to.
Hello. Took some skills to bring down that fiend. Always a pleasure. Keep yourself safe.
Don't want to talk to Ten of Spades.
Wish I
Talk
got
to
the
this
bullet in
one.
that fiend. All right, goodbye.
Nothing to say to him.
I heard you killed Driver Nafai. My team would have liked to get a shot at him, but we're still glad he's dead. Carry on.
Why the fuck are you back here? What are you looking to find out? Tell me why I should tell you anything. I don't know you.
Let's see. Speech lie.
Oh, my apologies, sir. I was sent here by Colonel Shu to exterminate Motor Runner, the leader of the Fiends. This was Vault 3, but I'm sure you can tell that by all the threes all over the damn place. Now it's a drug den for the goddamn Fiends.
See, this guy is not supposed to even be talking to me with this line of
The Fiends are
dialogue.
degenerate
where
drug
he
addicts
is.
who kill and rape for fun, basically.
This is all the conversation I should have had
The Fiends killed everyone living here. Now they're squatting in their home.
in Vault 3.
Okay. Make yourself scarce. If you get yourself in trouble.
We won't go quietly. The Legion can count on that.
So it seems to me that this location may be growing as far as the number of people I save. And so that might be the overall goal, is to just save
We won't go quietly.
a lot of
Legion can
people.
Count on that.
I think I need to go inside and talk to General Shu. We could certainly. Now, I don't want to set up the explosion on the monorail, but I probably should just let that happen.
Something I can... Anders showed up here not too long ago. I'm told you're the one who got him out of the vault. Can't tell you how relieved I am. Sending him on that mission was a mistake. That's probably true, but I wonder if I should have taken a different strategy entirely. Although my options were certainly limited, with most of our forces tied up garrisoning this place. Regardless, what you did for Anders isn't something he or any of us around here take lightly. We're all glad to have him back. Thank you.
Apparently I have his helmet?
Unbelievable. That man has given us so much grief since we set up here. This may be a major turning point for us. I can't tell you how many times we thought we'd taken him out, only to have him show up again later, taking more heads off of fallen troopers. This is for the bounty. And this is from a pool me and a lot of the soldiers around the base had going. You may not be NCR, but hey, it's only fair.
So we get 350 XP on that.
Bye.
Okay. So we have some quests I know we can finish. Let's see. Put a spell on you is not what I want to do. Deliver the Crimson Caravan invoice to Dr. Hilden at Camp McCarran. Right, so where is the doctor? Okay, so there was a doctor here. I'm not sure I've even talked to
A little
before.
busy at the moment, but I can talk. This? The OSI lab. We don't get many visitors. The smell puts people off, I think. Nobody ever said science would smell clean and fresh. Anyway, you get used to it if you give it some time. I know I don't sound the part. Get raised by Brahmin ranchers and you never lose the twang. Drives Hildern crazy. But I know every inch of the power grid from Hoover Dam to Shady Sands. That's what we do here. Try to optimize the power output from the dam. Some of the others are working on an agricultural project, but truth be told, they aren't making much progress. Not yet, anyway.
So maybe we missed a whole quest here.
Head researcher. Mostly on the dam project, but I help out on other things when they need me. Gotta be flexible. You mean give you work? No, that'd be up to the administrator, Hildern. He's back there in his office. Between you and me, I don't think he ever leaves. Plenty of mercs go in to see him, though. I can't say. We're not supposed to talk about the research, not the details. If you're interested, I'm sure he'd see you. Nice to meet you. If you need anything, I'm almost always in the lab.
So he sounds a little shady, but does definitely seem like there's a whole room I just failed to search. So yeah, almost certainly I've just not been playing this game as thoroughly as they would want you to play it, but unfortunately Obsidian, Bethesda, whoever they are in that statement, really obviously want you to search every single square inch of every location and find everything, wasting massive amounts of time in the process.
A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of
We're
Operations.
gonna have another
OSI
over-the-shoulder
East.
conversation.
I presume you're here about Vault 22?
Let's say.
No, they wouldn't have briefed you, would they? Probably better that our junior fellows stay within the bounds of their pay grade anyway. Vault 22. Where to begin? Imagine, if you will, the wasteland in bloom. Vast fields of corn that grow from seeds and produce their bounty in the space of a month. Orchards of trees, their branches weighed halfway to the ground, hung with fat, ripe oranges, a harvest that could feed a city or a nation.
Sounds too good to be true.
All this, requiring no more than a few drops of precious water and the efforts of only a handful of human farmers. Impossible? A realist. We have that in common. A year ago, I'd have said the same. But what if I was to tell you that the wasteland can yield an endless bounty, and that the secret may lie a mere few miles from where we stand?
Now in Fallout 3 there was a Genesis device,
I need you.
and there was a grotto that had a lot of life in it.
Good. I thought I sensed the kindred soul in you, beneath the wasteland veneer. I believe that the inhabitants of Vault 22 unlock the secrets of vegetative growth. Plants are spilling from their gate. No one tends them. No one waters them. Yet they multiply and spread in all directions. Find the reason for this miraculous growth, and I promise you the OSI will see that you are generously compensated. Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. I can authorize your payment from OSI accounts. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room, you understand? Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be certain to bring me any notes or samples.
Now remember, the only reason you even have a Pip-Boy is because you were given one at the beginning. At the beginning of the game. You're not from a vault.
I thought it was a fairly straightforward assignment. It's a simple question of retrieving the data, which shouldn't prove overly challenging. Downloading the data will be handled by your Pip-Boy. You might think of yourself as a mere means of conveyance. No insult intended, of course. Oh? What might those be?
Let's see.
The Office of Science and Industry. It's a rather expansive topic. I could talk for hours, but I'm sure I'd bore you. Suffice to say, we are the leading edge of the NCR. Our work focuses on practical matters: medicine, engineering, biology. The dam, for instance. OSI routes its energy supply to our cities in the West. That's only one responsibility of this office. Director of the entire OSI? Me? If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to plant seditious ideas in my head. No, I direct our eastern operations. I've been responsible for squeezing unprecedented levels of power from the dam.
Too
I'm
much
also
dialogue
confronting the
in
problem
one
of
go.
food production in what little spare time I have. But I've found some promising leads. Yes, with the assistance of my team, of course.
So, no surprise, a lot of players are eventually trained to just smash the A button on all
Not
this
yet,
dialogue.
but our government understands the value of proactive thought. Our studies project an imbalance between production and consumption. Or, for a layman such as yourself, not enough food, too many mouths to feed. Mass starvation in a decade or so. We aid some programs the Republic has sponsored involving sharecropper farms in the area. But those haven't panned out too well from what I hear. There have been complaints about the amount of water we're supplying. But those are just excuses for lack of diligence, I'm sure. Directly? No. But we attempt to maximize its output. You have no idea how difficult it is to provide power to an entire nation. Fortunately, we also have the Helios 1 facility. One of our external contractors recently got the station up and running. His name was something like exceptional or marvelous or...
Fantastic?
Yes, that was it. Exactly. To be frank, I have no idea. I leave the fighting to Colonel Shu, and I expect him to leave the science to me. Too many people have opinions on things they know nothing about. And the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have. Yes, goodbye.
Now I'm going to have to start talking to him
Something
again
else you needed?
to do the invoice.
From Alice. I'll see that she's paid right away. Crimson Caravan runs a tight operation. Even out here in the waste, wouldn't do to keep them waiting. Was there anything else? Or were you just here about the invoice? Yes, goodbye.
So can we even see what this guy looks like? Alright,
What do you think you're doing?
just looking at your face.
Download complete. Begin recording. Navarro Outpost Scientist, I am glad that EDE has reached you. You will find several data banks of information on this machine.
Interesting.
Please handle this information with the utmost care, as it represents the sum total of the results of my research on the Duraframe iBots. There are also several data banks with information on my research into Poseidon Energy, and some projects they were working on in
I'm
the
still
Mojave
not
area.
sure if this is a DLC.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business, but... Did he give you a job?
2 dialogues at the same time.
I shouldn't say anything. I know that. But you're not the first person Hildern sent out to the vault. There were a lot of mercs, one after another. None of them came back. Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect, but she's an absolute genius, and he didn't mention her? Not even her name? Or any of the other mercs? But now he's hired you, which means one of 2 things. Either he heard back from Keeley, and she failed, or he's given up on her. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich, not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc, but I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there. No idea if she's alive or dead. I had a good
So we
feeling
get
about
another
you.
side quest
Moment
there.
you walked in. I mean it.
To try and save.
Of course. Anything. Keeley's brilliant. An absolute genius. She plays at being mean, but it's all a front. When you've lived as long as she
More
has, you get
dialogue,
defensive around new
back
people.
to back.
Who wants to make a friend when you know you'll
Seems
outlive
like Angela Williams is hot on Keeley.
I couldn't get her to say, but she talked about the war. The Great War, when the bombs fell, like she'd been there. So, I'm guessing pretty old. 200 years? Maybe more.
How's she that old? Is she a ghoul?
Like a Brahmin and a Deathclaw, though I'm not sure which would be which. Bad analogy, maybe. They're both Deathclaws in their way. Keeley hates Hildern. She says he's more politician than scientist, and gets in the way of true discovery. And Hildern hates Keeley because, well, because every time they meet, she makes him look like an ass. In front of important people, usually. The director? He's
just
very
more
well
dialogue
spoken and knowledgeable. He's not what you'd call warm.
But see, you
unless
have
he
to
wants something from you.
exhaust
And
all
even
this
then,
dialogue
it's
if you're trying to
kind of a
get as
cold
much
warm.
XP as
Most of
possible.
the time I focus on the science and
Yeah,
try to
I'm
forget
still
it. He doesn't get mixed up in any
assuming
actual
that
work,
there's
though he
50
tells
to
people
60
he does.
levels in this game, and I'm at level 17.
He sure does. Everyone knows
So
it.
I have no idea
I've just
how you
gotta
get
endure this job until the project
enough
is finished.
XP to
But
get to the
abandoning
end.
Keeley, he crossed a line. Taking credit for other people's work is one thing. Sending people to die in the waste is another. If Hildern tries to recruit any more mercs, I'm gonna warn them. What can he do to me? I'm the only one who can run this lab.
Apparently, followers of Apocalypse were mentioned.
My father used to say good things about them, but that was years ago. Back when they teach farmers and ranchers about crop rotation and the like. Nowadays, they've changed. They're doing what they can to discredit the NCR, give us a bad name with the locals. Dr. Hildern trained with them years ago. Not me, though. I'm an OSI girl. It's foul to tell the truth. Most people try to get what they can from the outside, even if it's just a smuggled candy bar now and then. Contreras is a genius. He can find almost anything you'd want. Takes caps to get him motivated, though. He won't do a thing for free. Right. Stay safe.
So, we got a new quest. We kind of know what to do now, as far as just moving in with pitching in with the Crimson Caravan some more and getting more quests there. We probably should just do the I put a spell on you quest too, because it doesn't seem like this one can be finished without the explosion, so we might as well just finish this.
Yes? What is it?
If it's gonna blow up the monorail, it's gonna blow up the monorail.
No? What happened? Curtis, something's not right. He came to me today saying he was worried about the monorail. Had me put him in charge of the inspection crew. Listen, you've got to get to the monorail. If it's been...
Alright, so massive
Even the stupid NCR
run as
is
fast as
investigating new
possible.
research. We're getting left in the dust.
Like, is there any possible way we could find and defuse the bomb before it leaves?
Hey, you got a second?
Not now.
The Brotherhood is failing. I've always known that. But until recently, I haven't I think I... Great! Thanks. Thank you. I'll encourage people to name their non-ugly children after you. Seriously.
The train is about to depart.
And so you just cannot get to the door even in time. So I assume that was just supposed to be a cutscene. Yeah. I've already been to New Vegas this time. So let's go talk to this. And it seems like we may just be losing Veronica, which could be a big problem as far as having no companion. Let's talk to...
Something I can do. What happened? God damn it. How could I have let this happen? If only we caught this sooner, before he got to the monorail. Still, this investigation has been valuable to us, and you deserve to be compensated for it. The NCR appreciates the work you've done. Will there be anything else? Everything was going according to President Kimball's plan at first. But our two main objectives are... and we're holding Hoover... Bye.
So it doesn't seem like there's any other quests we can do. Okay. So, Brotherhood of Steel mission. Vault 22. Or delivering the invoice. Okay. So Hidden Valley is here. That would give us an excuse to run down here where we've never been before for that quest. This quest, let's see, first of all, remove the marker, is Vault 22, which I'm not sure we know where Vault 22 is. It's over here, which this would also point me in that direction. So it would kind of make some sense to fast travel to that. I think we're going to Hidden Valley though. And then there's still a lot of other quests to wrap up. And weirdly, we're still in a bad position where I have too much stuff. Just way too much stuff. So I could go to Good Springs and throw some of this into the locker, and I think that is our first step, is to do that. So I'm going to make a save here and end the episode, and then we'll be playing more Menu Hero in the next episode just to clear our inventory out. We still are very much bouncing around between different quests. It is not the linear experience I would prefer to have, and particularly for New Vegas, since it feels like it was a lower focus, lower budget game, just forcing a player down a path that felt like it was maybe free but really wasn't that free would have appealed more to me. And inherently, as I talk about old gameplay mechanics that I don't think work in modern days, I think just open worlds, you can go anywhere and do anything concepts don't work. I think we want a more cinematic style of experience where you are guided in certain directions to do certain things. Maybe you have some branching paths, maybe the paths branch quite a bit, but in the end, I would like to be more locked into one mission and have to go from point A to point B to point C in that mission before I can start the next mission. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, and keep on watching. Thanks.